Here we go.
You want to be like? Sensitivity equals fucking poverty.
Insensitive Culture, the podcast. Check it out, homie.
Everyone, welcome to episode 185 of Insensitive Culture. As always, you know me.
What's up, what?
You know my guy on the other end.
And that fool Blazer, Ramon.
And on the other end, you know who we are.
Insensitive Culture, the podcast. Make sure you check it out, homie.
I don't know who we are.
Make sure you check it out.
And go through 185 episodes for nothing.
Oof. Let's go.
For now, not a bitch. Oh, man. I thought this episode was never going to start, but here we are.
Here we are.
Ready to go.
We've only got an hour and 10 minutes left to record.
So
you know what?
yeah,
Instead of waiting
ass.
until the end of the episode, we're just going to tell you now. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you send up reviews, and smash the like button. All those wonderful things. Tell your friends about us, and go to insensitivemerch.com. Just in case you don't make it to the end, because who knows what time that'll be.
We did enjoy all the stellar conversation as well. So
yes.
And sign up for our paid packages, including Dave's avocado mix.
Oh, the guac mix.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's not the mustache. It's not
Not the
mustache
mustache
package
no more.
It's the
Nope.
guac mix. Okay, the guac pack.
Yeah,
I like it.
I keep hearing so much
Dave's
about this
guacamole.
this guacamole mix that I'm gonna have to try some, bro.
I'm about to make Johnny.
Yeah, have
some.
to
If
mix
he
him
comes
up and
through
send
for
him.
the pod when he's here. We're about to be eating tacos. He'll see what's up.
Yeah, I'll
He'll
be on the
understand.
pod in Cali next week. Hey.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be there, but you guys enjoy, okay?
Yeah,
You
we'll
guys
see.
enjoy.
It better live up to the hype. I'll be honestly,
better.
I'm allergic to avocados, so I can't really.
Okay, no
enjoy-
guac, no
I'll get like two scoops in, and that's about as far as I can go.
I did the one of those intolerance tests.
Oh,
And that was a very interesting thing, when I
scared
was
to do
real
that.
into my health and working out and all that stuff. And the one that wasn't surprising was shrimp, because I've always, I remember not liking seafood, so it didn't really matter to me. Shrimp was always one of those things I've tried, and I don't like the texture. I'm a texture person. But it started giving me this metallic taste in my mouth. And they're like, oh, then you're allergic. And I'm like, okay, well then not eating that shit. Don't give a fuck. So that was bright red. Like, yes, you are intolerant to this. And the ones that surprised me, because I've never felt like I had any issues, is dill and avocados.
interesting.
And the avocados kind of hurt me a little bit to my heart and soul.
Fuck.
Yeah,
And I still eat avocado whenever I get the opportunity to, because with those intolerance tests, all it really means is that, it might inflame your gut or some shit.
But you'll live.
If you consume it. But yeah, I'm not allergic. I'm not going to die. I just, I might feel sick for like a couple of days and not really realize that it was the avocados that did it.
Guac is worth it.
Whatever.
So I get it.
Hell yeah. Still pay that extra $4 at fucking Chipotle for it.
I used to, for sure, 100%. And it was just like a random time. So all of my intolerances are like really light. Except for like milk, like raw milk, I can't fuck with it. That'll fuck me up. But like I could do cheeses and ice cream and pizza. Like I do all of that shit, but like in very like small portions. If I do small portions, no problem. And especially like with the milk shit, like if I pop some lactate pills, I'm Gucci. Like, but nuts. So not peanuts, but tree nuts. Not ball nuts, not human or man nuts, just tree nuts.
Just tree nuts, not
Trees buzzing.
So like Brazilian nuts again, not
Brazilian
the dark
nuts.
ones.
Pause.
Not the dark man ones. The ones from the trees. Walnuts, again, not on the walls or glory holes, not hanging
hole,
out of a glory hole. But weirdly, pecans never been a problem, or pecans, however you want to say them. Never been a problem. I mean, I think they're nuts, but okay.
There's in the name. In the name, there's not.
Oh
nut.
yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. It should it's pecan nut. No. And so, anyways, the sensation that I get in the back
When
of
you
my
get
throat
nuts in you, you get a
when I eat
sensation.
nuts, that bother me.
You can't describe it.
Is the same thing that happens when I eat avocado. And that was like, again, this is some like getting grown old shit, right? Like never bothered me for years and years and years. And then somehow in the last, I don't know, I want to say like 2 years or 3 years, I started noticing I would, have some guac, or I would add guac to like the burritos or whatever. And then suddenly it would be like, like the back of that throat itches just a little bit. And I'm like, is there like
dangly thing in the back of your throat?
Yeah, basically, get nuts
great
dangling in the back of your throat. It's a problem. It just lingers. The nuts linger
Not for
there.
Cardi B.
Innuendo.
Cardi B.
Yeah,
Cardi B's
yeah.
fine.
Just get fucked already. Yeah, no. That's the challenge, and don't get old, people. That's basically the story. The moral of the story right here is prevent aging as much as you can.
Yeah. Stay away from nuts and the dangly thing in the back of your throat.
Your uvula.
Your uvula. That's what it's called?
Uvula. That is what it's called.
The dangly thing, yeah, it's the
The dangly
uvula.
thing, yeah. Uvula.
Yeah. Never cared about that. That is thank you guys for being smart.
Little tidbit. I have my
A little
moments.
tidbit. Oh man. Yeah. I listen to other podcasts, and the fact that people don't even give a fuck about any of those little details that we pull out of nowhere is just like, actually, this is what it is.
Basically, yeah.
It's what sets us apart, damn it.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's inconsequential.
It's can you please explain that? I don't know what that means.
There's no consequences to
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's actually, that word actually makes a lot of sense then.
in context, yeah.
Yeah, in full context. Love it. All right. So it's about that time.
All right, let's kick it off with a bad would you rather. We got a good would you rather towards the end, but this is going to be a rough one first.
Oh.
Would you rather just eat soft foods for a year? And by soft foods, I'll qualify it to begin with. Pretend you don't have teeth, so you're not able to chew. Anything that you could gum down, soft food counts. Or use dial-up internet for a year. Strictly. Whatever device you're on, you got 56K modem speeds.
Damn.
What are we thinking, fellas? What are we
How
thinking?
long is the soft food for?
It's for they're both for a year.
For 1 year.
Yep.
1 year.
Soft food or dial-up internet?
All right, good. That's what I wanted, because I come up with these sometimes, and y'all are like, "Oh, easy, that one." I didn't want that bullshit. I need y'all to think on it, think of the consequences.
All right, so then
I won't even
go
bring up
first
the
then.
fact that, how rarely I do anything on the internet on my laptop. So my phone, my phone, I can't use dial-up on my phone anyway. So
no, that doesn't matter. Any internet device.
I knew that was gonna be like,
your
like
Roku, your
No.
Roku. I don't give a fuck. It's got slow ass speeds.
when you bring up streaming, yeah, you're right. That's not gonna cut it. And my DVD collection is not up to par.
It goes up to like 2005, and then it stops.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Good luck with that.
Yep. Yeah, I'd be watching Inception a bunch of times in the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to just eat soft foods for the rest of for the remainder of the year, like whatever.
Year.
Yeah, for a full year, and it's just a year.
Just a year.
It's not like I'm actually missing teeth. I just have to eat this mushy ass food.
You have your teeth for sure.
Yeah. Because that would be more embarrassing. Then I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
well.
facts. I'm not that mean. Yeah, although, would you rather not have teeth for a year? Or that would have been a better fucking way.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one soon. I'm gonna use the teeth thing, but for now, it sounds like you're going.
No. I'll do the soft food for a year. Yeah. I think I can get creative. I'll do smoothies a lot.
Milkshakes, mashed potatoes, nut
yogurt. I actually
pause.
Like eggs, fucking. I actually do like cottage cheese and shit. So
that's gross. I can't fuck with cottage cheese, dog.
I do like it. It is because I'm a texture guy.
That's
the weird thing.
Exactly. How are you a texture guy and you eat cottage cheese?
Yes. So the only it's been a while since I've eaten cottage cheese, but it was strictly diet thing, right? And they told me like that had to be a part of the diet or whatever. So I was doing it, and it would be a weird sensation because I would eat it, and the taste itself is actually good because it just tastes like cheese, like mozzarella cheese. But the texture is what would fuck with me. And once I get past the texture, I'm like, this actually is good. Like it actually tastes good. But every single time, never failed. I would start to eat it, and my brain would hesitate to chew this thing, and then I get past it every single time.
Yeah, no. First off, that's like 99% whole milk, so there's no way I could put that down. Second off, the texture is like,
can't do it anymore.
Fuck that. I mean, pretty sure cottage cheese is just like curdled milk, right?
It tastes like mozzarella cheese,
like curdled milk
sitting in milk.
If somebody chewed it and vomited it into a bowl, then it tastes like mozzarella cheese. Yes, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's what it tasted like to me.
Don't ever disrespect mozzarella cheese like that, bro.
No, never. Don't ever disrespect me talking about.
Nah, but then I think about it because like I told y'all that I'm doing like this. This diet where mainly I'm just not really eating a lot of carbs other than like vegetables and shit. Yeah. So like a lot of the things that I've been eating are like, if I eat, like I'll make ground beef, like taco meat, and I'll eat it without it actually being a taco. So that's some shit that I would be able to just to eat.
I could eat ground beef.
I'll do that shit for a year.
I'll eat ground beef all day. Just keep
right. That's what I'm saying. I'll do that shit for a year.
Are we comparing the two? I don't understand what we're talking about.
I'm just thinking of the foods.
And cottage cheese on the same level there.
No. I'm not. No, I'm off of the cottage cheese. I'm just thinking of the things that I could eat.
No, there's plenty. There's plenty.
There's plenty. There's a ton of shit. I'll take that.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
But cottage cheese ain't one of them.
No, cottage cheese is good.
But wait, are you also saying that ground beef is a soft food? Like you would be able to eat ground beef as
if I had no teeth,
food?
I think I would be able to eat ground beef just fine.
It has to be ground pretty well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, not like ground beef. You would have to like regrind it in like a blender or something.
Fine chop, like
that's what cheese. When you say soft food like that, like I think of like my niece recently had this where she had a surgery. One of my other homeboys had his
mouth ain't fucking wired
his jaw
shut.
wired shut. You know, I had to have had the surgery, right? So like you're only eating like straight soft foods because
I mean, that sounds like liquid diet.
You're thinking liquid
yeah,
diet.
that sounds more like.
But I mean, he was eating
with gums,
like mashed potatoes and all the shit that you were mentioning before.
All the shit that could pass through your fucking teeth without you having to open
like
your mouth.
You have the teeth, but
but my mouth isn't wired shut, so I could still eat something that's like a tiny bit.
I'll give you the ground beef if that's what it takes to get you to not use 56K modem speeds, and then have the ground beef, dog. That's my gift.
Yeah,
to you.
fuck it.
You'll get one pass on ground beef. That's the only one.
That's it.
All right.
Everything else, even if it's close, nah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, for me, it would be really tough just because, like I was mentioning, those at least 2 people, if not more, that I know that have gone through those, I guess, liquid diets.
Yeah.
You know, it's shit.
You'll survive.
It's
It's
rough.
only a year.
And, you know,
there's
they were only doing it
complications.
for like 3 months. And they were like this. You know, the first 2-3 weeks, you're like, oh, this is great. You know, I get Jell-O and mashed potatoes and all that. But then after like a month, you're like, holy shit, I want a steak so bad.
I
just want to eat
I want a burger. I
a
want
fucking
pizza.
piece of chicken, like a burger, like just anything that has real texture and is not just passing right down the gullet. You know,
Somebody order pancakes. I just sip the scissor.
right? Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
However, like 95% of my life operates over the internet,
Yeah.
including this podcast.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way.
there's
How
no
would I
way.
even like? You would
56K.
basically, we wouldn't have a show for a year.
No. Johnny's on
yeah.
a
And
56K hiatus.
I refuse to do that for the listeners, not for me, but for the listeners. The listeners need this logic, damn it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the soft.
See that? We would
foods.
sacrifice for you fuckers.
I'm going with cottage cheese too. I need to. I need that texture. I'm a texture guy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Get that
I need
cottage
that.
cheese.
I need that cottage cheese texture all up in my shit.
Yep.
No,
Yeah,
I
not
can't.
like
I
that.
can't function with 56K. I can't do my job. I'd be fired. People wouldn't want to work with me. Like it would be life changing. Whereas the soft foods only really affects me. I could still live my life and, for the most part, you know, function normally. And like you said, you get creative. There'd be a lot of guac.
Yeah.
A lot of ground beef, apparently, because we're counting. I bake a lot of tacos with guac and, no tortilla. A lot of taco bowls,
A
milkshakes.
lot of soup,
Yeah.
chili.
Oh, yeah. I'd go hard
refried
on
beans.
the soups.
You could have chili because it's ground beef.
Yeah,
It's
that's
apparently
that's
allowed.
true. Just, I don't know. Can you choose
Does ground
like kidney
chicken
beans?
also count? Because I'm more on the ground
If ground
chicken
beef
wave.
counts, then ground everything has to count.
ground food. I'm thinking, you know, it's still soft-ish, I guess. But I get what you're saying.
It is.
It is. And I mean, I've never tried to, but I'm sure you could probably just like
You guys
swallow
jump
ground beef
straight
whole
to
and not
Yeah,
chew it.
guys jump
been a
straight
while.
to fucking liquid diets. I'm thinking just like mashed up food.
You can put whatever you want. If you want to get a burger and some fries and
blend
a
it.
milkshake and blend that shit up and chug it, by all means, do it.
I can't imagine.
I probably
that
end up
tasting
doing that shit. I probably end up doing that shit just to try something. So like I did it once, I threw up. I'm never doing that shit again.
Exactly, yeah.
Fair. That's fair. All right.
Or
soft foods.
yo, that was the best thing I've ever fucking eaten in my life.
Y'all need to try
ain't
this.
on this Shake Shack milkshake.
That's what they make at Shake Shack. They just ground your shit up. All right. So one is gonna stay, and the other 3 are gone,
disappear.
and that's gonna include their bodies of work. These are always fun ones. Ben Stiller, Adam Sandler, Eddie Murphy, Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais is gone. You said one stay, the rest are gone.
One stay, the rest are gone. Bodies of work included.
Ben Stiller, Adam Sandler, Eddie Murphy, and
Yep.
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais. And obviously you aren't an Office fan, so you don't care about The Office. So bye, Ricky.
I've never seen the I guess he's a producer on the American version.
Yeah, and without his British one, there wouldn't have been a remake of
Sure.
that.
Sure.
So that nixes
I mean,
The
it's still
Office.
not
And
his
that's
body of
that's
work.
the big Ricky Gervais thing.
All right. I'm not going to argue it. I can argue it, but I won't. Who stays is the important question here.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
stays?
We could have just
Who
done
stays?
Ben, Adam, and Eddie, and it would have still been tough because they all got bangers.
Yeah. It's probably a an unpopular opinion, but I would say, I don't know. It is a tough one. It is a tough one, but I would say Ben Stiller stays.
Ben Stiller stays. Ooh, yeah. I mean, that's reasonable. That could be argued for. Absolutely.
Yeah. Adam Sandler, his earlier work, I was a huge fan of all of his earlier shit. Once it started hitting like Click and
Post click. We'll say post click.
yeah, post Click was like it's mainly misses. Maybe there's like one or two sprinkled in there
Yeah.
that I love.
What was the
the
parent one?
What do you mean? The Ben Stiller
No, the Adam Sandler one with
Grown Ups?
Grown Ups.
Meet the
that was
I thought you were saying
post-click.
Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents is Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
That is.
the Adam
What?
Sandler side
Yes.
Grown Ups was post click, and that was
Yes.
that was actually a good. So like you said,
I wasn't a huge fan of Grown Ups, but
It's okay.
yeah, it was okay. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to think of like full, like Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Was
Zoolander, Dodgeball.
Hey, Ben
Zoolander.
Stiller's an executive producer on Severance as well, right?
He is.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
But I mean, that wouldn't go away. He's not the only producer.
I mean, maybe he got it
Sure.
off the ground. Maybe the Ben Stiller
That's why-
name is what.
That's why I was saying like, you didn't say that they would cease to exist. You said that they would just not be available.
I mean, even if
anymore.
they did cease to exist, I don't know that like stuff like Severance would never exist if not for Ben
I mean, it
Stiller.
could, but would it be the Severance we know?
That's why I didn't want to. That's why I didn't want to argue it. I
exactly.
was like, I could make an argument, but I don't want to argue it because then we're gonna get into that whole shit.
I'm gonna
We got
say
time,
no.
bitch.
It
You
wouldn't be
wanna
the
argue?
Severance that we know. But either way,
What'd you-
there would be a Severance.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know, man. He's done a bunch of shit with Adam Sandler too, and the good roles that he was a part of.
I can't believe we're not even
In
talking
some-
about Eddie Murphy right now.
No, we're
He's
not
not
talking
even in the
about Eddie Murphy.
conversation. Eddie
No.
and Ricky just gone.
Yeah,
Like
fuck.
nothing, not
First
a
of all,
second
yeah,
thought.
no, I'm not a huge fan of Ricky Gervais.
Okay, Ricky, I get, but Eddie, I thought you'd have some love for Eddie.
Eddie's
That's
work
racist.
in the 80s and 90s. Eddie's work in the 80s and 90s were amazing. And then he had so much bullshit since then that I can imagine a world without like Eddie Murphy content. I don't even go back to watch the few classics that he does have.
Damn.
Other than like Coming to
Savage.
America. I mean, it is what it is.
That's a classic right there.
I know.
And he's
Along
just
came
like, wow.
Paulie, Starsky and Hutch, Fucking
Okay. Oh shit.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. You know what's on Ben Stiller's list? The King of Queens. But he's on there. But he wasn't a major part, so that episode, whatever episode, disappears. Meet the Parents. Fucking
Dodgeball.
Yeah. I mean,
Heavyweights.
realistic. Something About Mary is the one I was thinking about. That was my shit.
Oh yeah.
Realistically, maybe I should pick. I should pick Adam Sandler because he had more things that were actual classics, even though they were early on in his career. And I'll keep thinking about like the span of the career.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm going to stick to my guns and I'm going to say Ben Stiller because he has his hands in a little bit of fucking everything for a long time.
It's true. That is true.
And every time he does pop up, he's fucking hilarious.
I mean, what's some in the last decade? Give me a Ben Stiller movie that hit.
In the last decade, give me a fucking Adam Sandler movie that hit.
Who's defending Adam Sandler? I never
just
said
saying.
Adam Sandler.
I'm just saying. Give me a hit from any of these four in the last decade.
I liked the
fact,
Jennifer Aniston ones where they were detectives on Netflix. Those were pretty good.
Uncut Gems was good too.
Oh, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems was very good. That was
Uncut Gems was
nominated.
very good. And the basketball one where he was the coach or like the mentor for the dude.
Yeah.
Also very good. Downplayed.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I said that more than likely I should be picking Adam Sandler here.
But Stiller
because really
was
it came down to the two. But Stiller had his hand in so many things that I think I'm gonna stick with that. Fuck it. I'm just gonna stick to my guns on that.
I'm gonna just for the sake of argument, I'm gonna go Sandler for the Gilmore classics.
Oh, still not Eddie Murphy?
Oh no, that was for you. I put that in there for you.
Is it because
this was
I'm
from
black?
YouTube. This was a YouTube question in my feed. I didn't make this question.
because I'm
That's
black
why Ricky
that you had to
Gervais is
throw a
in
black
there.
man
I wouldn't have
in there.
picked Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, fuck Ricky Gervais. I'm good on him.
But Adam Sandler, just the Happy Madison productions, Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, you're right about that.
The shit that he, sort of probably pushed along strictly on the Adam Sandler name, whereas, like you said, Severance would have come out without Ben Stiller, but a lot of those Happy Madison movies probably don't get made if they're not Happy Madison productions.
Yeah, I probably and I keep saying it. I probably should have gone with Adam Sandler, but I'll stick to Ben Stiller for argument's sake.
That's fair. Johnny's gonna go Eddie Murphy.
Tropic Thunder is still
No,
very
Tropic
high
Thunder.
on
I
my
would
list.
be. I'm devastated to lose Tropic Thunder because that's probably like a top 5 comedy of all time. in my opinion.
It's Tropic Thunder, Along Came Polly, and There's Something About Mary specifically. Like those three is just like fuck.
Yeah, that's the Mount Rushmore of Stiller movies.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you thinking, Johnny?
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to go with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad choice. From his earlier shit.
That there was a point in time where things started to kind of slide
It
and
was
go
a long
south.
time ago.
However, I think he bounced back from a lot of that. And there's just so much that came before that I don't know, it was just like a huge part of my childhood and adolescence.
Beverly
There's
Hills
stuff
Cop.
that he did that, I don't know, I'm just going through his list here on Call Sheet, right? So, I forgot he was in not necessarily one of my favorite Disney movies, but thinking of tangential stuff he did, I forgot he was in Mulan. But, the smaller roles, smaller films here, like Bowfinger. I fucking loved Bowfinger. That was a great
Bowfinger
flick.
was good.
Obviously, Shrek is huge.
Norbit was funny.
Yeah.
The Dr.
Forgot about
Dolittle
Shrek.
stuff is huge. But I thought also Showtime was a great
Showtime with
movie.
De Niro. I was gonna say that, dude.
yeah,
that was
Showtime was
a
great.
really,
I thought
really
that was
funny,
great.
funny
I thought
movie.
I Spy was great too. Like I
Yes,
actually
I
enjoyed I
Spy was
Spy.
great.
And these
That
are
was
in this also in
classic.
the same like Showtime, I Spy, and Pluto Nash came out in the same year. So this is the time where you're like, Eddie Murphy's falling off. This Pluto Nash shit is whack. But he also dropped Showtime and I Spy in the same year, and those were both, I thought, pretty good. And Daddy
were
Daycare
bangers, both of
came
those.
right after that, and Daddy Daycare is like part of everyday vernacular. Like people say that shit all the time. So I definitely, there's just the Shrek stuff is way too involved, and then there's the the kind of the serious stuff that he's done. The Dream Girls. What else was he in? The
Dolomite. Was that serious?
the Dolomite. I wasn't say that was serious, but that was like a huge comeback, and I thought that was fucking great. When he did Mr. Church. Mr. Church was really good. That he held it down. The Dolomite is My Name was fucking great.
and if you go back in the days, 48 Hours, Trading Places.
Yeah, I mean
Beverly Hills
because back in the
Cop,
day stuff is like 100%.
The Golden
like,
Child. Yeah. No, great argument for Eddie Murphy. We ain't giving him
Honestly,
enough
these are
respect
all
on his
arguable,
name.
except for
The
maybe
Nutty
They
Professor.
are. There definitely are. I think there's enough there
Life.
for me to say, I'm gonna give him his flowers. I think he's
Eddie.
he's huge impact early enough on, and while
And the
he
stand-up.
had some like moments of either disappearance, like there was a while where he just wasn't involved in anything, and then the stuff that he was involved in, there was it was kind of hit or miss.
Well, he was
on some
extremely
things, but I think
watered down.
He had enough hits in between to keep it rocking. And when he came back, he came back hard. I felt like
He was just so watered down after he made the decision to make movies that only his kids could watch.
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, and shit
Haunted
like
Mansion,
that,
yeah.
and it's just
The
like
Pluto Nash, man.
Yeah, Pluto Nash. But I Spy was fire. I fucking.
I remember
there's
I Spy
many
being-
quotes in that movie,
being
dude,
great.
I love.
it's been a long time since I've seen I Spy, but I remember that being great.
And
Norbit
remember
was
it being good.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Malcolm McDowell. There's a pretty decent cast in that movie too, and Owen Wilson was very funny. Like them together, like I wish they made more movies because that chemistry they had
that
in
was
I
good.
Spy
Yeah.
was killer. The jelly
It's
bird
funny
he's
too
like,
because
"I float down to
as I
Earth
was
like a
thinking about
jelly
like
bird?"
with Bowfinger, like we kind of thought like Steve Martin was the asshole
Yeah.
in that one. It was like, what
Right.
is Steve Martin doing in this movie? Why is he still trying to be around? Like
Right.
Eddie's being
Yeah.
dragged down by Steve Martin in this movie. And they were both kind of at the over the hill moments, honestly.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that as an adult, man, because I remember my dad loved Bowfinger.
It's been a while for me
And
too.
It's been a
Yeah.
long time, yeah.
Yeah, so long.
But I remember like there was like almost a I don't want to say a fourth wall break, but there was like a little bit of that with Bowfinger in
It
that,
is.
like like there was this whole like behind the scenes Hollywood type thing of actors that fall off, and you had this whole kind of like thing that they were trying to do with that, and I thought that was pretty genius at the time. And now they're both kind of in their old age back on top, so like whatever. I'm going with Eddie.
I like it.
I trust me,
I'm not
I'll be
mad at it.
sad
I'm
to
not mad
lose the other three, and
Same.
I fuck with Ricky, but of course, as you mentioned, it's really all about The Office.
Yeah.
And I would be very sad to lose The Office, but I think my wife would be more sad than I, so
Right.
I can console her.
I thought
Like,
about that.
sacrifice.
So we gotta make 'em.
All right.
All right, last
Yeah.
question.
Oh, where was
Would
yours?
you rather? What did I said?
No, he went with
Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Oh, you went with Sandler too.
because
Okay.
of the Happy Madison and all that.
Yep.
It's too much. All right, last one. Would you rather have no traffic for life, so you're never stuck in traffic, I don't know how that would work, but let's just pretend no matter where you're going, no matter what time, where you are,
everything opens up.
You're just driving normal speeds, doing your thing. So you don't got to worry about getting stuck. Or
it's not like Bruce Almighty where the
there's no magical roads. I thought about that too. Like, would they just, because that would be weird at that point. Like, so just, it just happens that wherever you are, you're good. You're getting through on time. No worries.
Sure. Sure.
Or wherever you are in the world, free Wi-Fi. It works. It might not be like gigabit speed, but it's very usable. It doesn't cost you anything, and it will always be there no matter where you are.
Traffic.
Fuck you.
Give me no traffic.
I wish you knew traffic. I wish you knew real traffic, my guy.
I mean, sure. And it's
that rush hour on 490, dog. Psh, please.
Well, that's my point, is like, that's the traffic here, and it's annoying. I know what the traffic is out there, and I don't want any parts of any kind of traffic.
Nah, traffic's bad.
I still have a nervousness of the road since I was fucking rear-ended during fucking rush hour. Yeah, pause.
Wait, you were what?
What happened?
You were what?
When I got hit by the semi-truck. You don't remember
that? Yes, I was rear-ended by a semi-truck. Pause.
Semi. You got rear-ended by a semi.
By a semi, yeah, that's right.
A semi.
So because I have that because I have that nervousness still of the road, I would choose the traffic.
It would be nice,
because you just explained, like, if you would have said, like, you have immaculate Wi-Fi, like it's just the highest amount of like gigabits of what
that would do
Wi-Fi
it for you. Like, if you had
get.
1 gigabit up and 1 gigabit down anywhere, that would have swayed your opinion.
It's just like, yeah, possibly. I would have thought about it more, but you're just like, it's just like, it's not like it's great, but it's not terrible. It's just like, just fucking let traffic open itself up.
What's the average? Well, let's say it's average. Whatever the average speed is of the world, I don't know off the top of my head, but let's say it's 500 up and 500 down. Is that a fair?
Yeah,
that's very reasonable.
It is very reasonable to have that for free and all that shit.
Johnny's looking it up. He's looking up world internet stats.
Yeah.
I can see it in his fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's
he's
not
picking
great,
Wi-Fi.
but it's not bad.
What is it?
Download 30, upload 8.
Fuck that. Nah, fuck. Give me traffic. If that's that bullshit, give me that fucking. Especially out here, save me a fucking 45 minutes a day for fucking 30 down, 8 up. Motherfuckers using that shit out here.
Damn.
I'd be traveling a lot more, bro.
We've gotten on our internet.
That's facts. We came a long way from the 56K dial-up speed.
Yo, we still got titties on them 56K though.
It just took a little bit. I was busting before it fully loaded. Once there was a nipple, I could bust.
Oh, man.
No, I thought you needed penetration for that.
Yeah, nah. Especially here, traffic is just such a brutal part of the day, most days of the week, that it would be a huge. And I would get here earlier. We could start the pod earlier. It would be good for everybody if I could just get home at a reasonable time. Because the worst thing is, I'm usually stuck like a mile from my house, but I'm in an area where it takes about 15, 20 minutes to go that fucking mile to get to where I need to go. And it's nothing I've ever experienced in Rochester. Like, the traffic jams in Rochester are usually you stop and then they clear out whatever bullshit and you're on your way. But, there's no stoppage. There's no accident. There's no nothing. It's just pure volume that's causing the traffic jams.
Yeah, fuck all that. But I'm thinking like if I'm traveling anywhere,
Yeah.
then traffic just clears out.
Yeah. Not even that it clears out. There just isn't any.
Cause how many? Yeah, exactly. Cause like we drive out to Johnny's. We did that, once a year for a couple years, and every single time without fail, we hit traffic multiple times, and and that shit just fucking extends the time by another fucking 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and whatever. So, yeah, I'm good on that.
Oof, this is tough.
I know Johnny's thinking. Johnny's like, fuck.
This is tough because these are both things that I have actively cursed out at the gods. Like.
Oh yeah. Traffic is
pointed my fist and screamed.
You could leave for work on time for any meeting.
Yeah. And look at Apple Maps, whatever the time is, real. That's what it's gonna take.
If I knew that there would never be any traffic, I would still leave late.
You're still gonna be late.
For sure.
Yeah, the Apple Maps, it's giving me the time based on regular people, but I don't hit traffic, so count 15 minutes off of that. I could wait 15 minutes to leave. Oof.
Yeah, no, I know.
Now the one thing on the traffic
you're still gonna
side,
get there on your time.
Yeah. So, but the one thing on the traffic side is, I have gotten pretty. The longer I live here, I feel like I've gotten pretty good on navigating around traffic, because a lot of times I've noticed most traffic is idiot drivers. Like, there'll be huge gaps in between cars where I'm like, oh, I can fucking jump in there. And I could, like, you guys have seen me when, once we like leave the burbs and we start getting towards the city,
once
like I'm weaving, I'm bobbing and weaving Johnny. Through all shits, there's especially like, in New York, like as soon as I hit the West Side Highway, that's when I usually notice most people don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're just driving slowly, and this should not be a 25-minute wait. I can get through that shit in 7 minutes. And I usually do, because there's just huge gaps in between cars. So I feel like I've gotten pretty good on that side. However,
good enough to just go Wi-Fi?
Yeah, like that's the thing is that, having good Wi-Fi everywhere is a pro, but that 30,
that's
not really
is
enough. I would say it is enough for most things. It's enough for most things. I'm pretty sure you could. I mean, at 30, if you got 30 meg down, and it's not shared, right? Let's say this is like a fiber connection, right? Like I'm getting 30 meg down no matter what.
Solid,
unshared.
No matter what.
This is solid. I mean, you could watch 4K on 30 meg. Like 4K is usually only like, I think you only need like 12 to 15 meg, as long as nobody else is on your bandwidth. Like it's not Wi-Fi like in your house or whatever. Anyways, getting too deep into technical weeds there.
It might be a little sticky.
But man, traffic pisses me off so much.
I know.
Just come to the dark side, bro. No more traffic.
But also Wi-Fi pisses me off so much when it doesn't work, or when the worst is when you're like, you got 5 bars of cellular, and in my case, I got dual SIM, so I see 2 different networks, and they're both
popping,
like 3 bars and 5 bars, and I can't get shit to load. This shit happened to me this past weekend actually. Like I was at I was in Rochester. I was at the New York Beer Project, and I'm inside the building. And I literally have 3 bars on AT&T, 4 to 5 bars on Verizon, and nothing will load on my fucking phone. And I had to ask them for their Wi-Fi password, which was slow as fuck, but it was still better than the cell signal. I think I might have to do Wi-Fi, man. Is it my life
damn.
again?
I said this earlier.
My life revolves so much on internet.
Yeah.
And access to the internet that, man, if I could just guarantee a minimum of 30 everywhere I go, but I sometimes get more, or am I just like, am I committed to 30 forever on everything?
No, also it can fluctuate. I mean, it's not going to get crazy, but it may go to 40, 45, but you know, it's not going to, you're not going to get fucking fiber.
I could live with that.
Connection.
I grew up on that. Like I grew up on less than that. I could definitely live with that. It wouldn't be I'd be sad when all my friends are on, gigabit speeds and 500 meg speeds, and they're downloading their files in 5 minutes, and I gotta wait, 45. But at least it goes and follows me everywhere I go, no matter what.
It does.
And I'll just deal with traffic the way I do with it right now. Like, it's a pain in the ass. I deal with it a lot, obviously, but I think I've gotten good at navigating around it when you can, But I never soon as we've talked about like the Tesla full self-driving shit before on the show. Mm-hmm. Soon as I hit like areas where it's like backed up traffic, I turn that FSD shit off. I'm like, nope, I'm taking over. Like, because the car is just going to stay in the same lane for the most part. Dude. Yeah. It drives pussy. Yep. And you know what? Yeah. I will disengage, and it's like, oh, why did you disengage? That's the new thing now, is that on Tesla, it asks you, why did you disengage? And you can hit the mic button and give it a 10-second recording of why you turned it off. And I'm like, you're not fucking aggressive enough for New York City traffic.
You got to put the New York accent on it though, so they know. They're like, oh, this dude. Word. Yeah,
I got to get a little more New York on it.
For sure.
New York.
All right, so that was it.
That's it.
We're good.
Yeah, I went traffic. That was I'm not fucking with all that. I'm trying to get home.
It's time for football.
All right, let's go in with week 4, 5.
This is going to be week 5 that we're in.
Okay.
And let's start off with the asshole of the week, shall we?
Ooh, asshole of the week.
Asshole of the week. This is a new designation. The team Blazer Ramon Alpha Male gets asshole of the week for only scoring 73 cocksucking points in this motherfucking league.
What a shitty team that was.
What a garbage ass owner, garbage ass players, garbage ass
have like
Yahoo?
0 points on players?
Bro, did I even start a fucking team, bro? So I lost to, of all people, I lost to Dirty D's Jungle of Love.
Jesus.
Fucking third-rate fantasy team name over here, dropping 123.9 on it. Motherfucking Jamar Chase doesn't do cock all fucking year and drops 44 points on my bitch ass.
His first big
and my
game
dudes
of the year.
didn't do shit. First year, I had one dude hit double digits, and that was Kirk Cousins. When Kirk Cousins is your only motherfucking dude that hits double digits, your team is fucked. Yeah. And I found that out this week hard. Got a nice ass pounding, and I needed it. I was floating too high. I was 4-0. I was living that life. But y'all assholes lost too. It was not a good week for insensitive culture. So no one's getting off the hook up in this bitch.
I don't like the way you had to mention that how we lost too. What do we have to do with your loss, bro?
Oh, nah, y'all the semi-assholes of the week losing in this bitch. Let's go to Walk's team fucks versus my brother Danny. Oh, and
yeah, my team doesn't fuck that much.
A 3-point margin is, I feel like that's almost worse than getting blown out. When you get blown out, you know.
We were neck to neck, and it's my brother, so we were...
You're popping shit.
Going back and forth.
Popped.
Yeah.
Talking shit. And yeah, it was just like neck to neck, bro. I was leading the entire time until we got towards the end. And I knew it because the craziest shit, I told him exactly. Like both of his running backs scored double digits. And mine had like 2 fucking points. Like my running backs were trash.
Yeah.
Where if I actually had at least one decent fucking running back, I would have I would have won that. But it is what it is. So
if you had just swapped out one of your receivers with one of the dudes that was on your bench, you would have came out with that W, son. You had those points. On
that's
your,
how that's how it is.
Those are
that's
the
how
toughest.
it is.
Yeah.
Those are the toughest. He didn't even have any players that really went off. It was just like you had the high scorer. You Justin Fields, the fucking quarterback for the Bears, always garbage, but manages to fucking drop you 32 points this week, almost 33, and you caught that L. You caught that L.
Yep. It's all good.
It happens. It happens.
It is what it is.
That's fantasy, baby. That's fantasy. That's why we do this.
That's what we do. I don't have any good running backs or tight ends, so.
No. Let's go to. Is this the?
Pause.
This is. I think this is the blowout of the week here. We got JJ's Knights versus the old Kanye.
Who's
take
the
a
old
peek.
Kanye? I don't know who that
The
player
old
is.
Kanye. Oh, I think that's Mr. Johnny Quest. Drum. Yeah, no. Got your shit fucked up this week. Who was the high scorer? You were in a bad spot from the Thursday game
Fucking DJ Moore scored 45 points on day one. I was like,
45
I guess I'm
points
losing.
day one. That's a crazy deficit to overcome. And when your defense is going negative points, it's even harder to overcome. Kittle caught fucking 3 touchdowns for JJ's Knights. It was all but in the bag, but anything can happen in fantasy, so you don't write it off after a Thursday game. But yeah, not a great week for the IC fellas, guys. We didn't bring it. We didn't bring it.
That's all right.
We did not.
Let's follow it up with Pittsburgh Feelers.
Did y'all see that Etienne, the running back from Jacksonville Jaguars, he had tweeted how he actually plays fantasy football, and he had a breakout day, and he
Didn't start himself.
He played against himself. It just so happened that in fantasy football he played against himself, and he got ran through because he had a fucking monster day in the NFL. I was kind of like, why are NFL players playing fantasy football? Honestly,
I mean, I get it. As long as they're not gambling, I guess it's cool as far as the NFL is concerned. I mean, I don't give a shit
but it's
what
also
they do.
kind of like there's just so much going on. Like, when do you have time to think about sitting and starting players?
They love that shit, bro. All the sports players are playing fantasy football, including the football players. Some of them pretend like they don't give a shit. You see them like they'll have a shitty game and then they'll tweet out like, "I don't give a shit about your fantasy team." It's like, yeah, bro, because you just had a trash fucking game because you're garbage. We get it. Like that's the worst fucking look you could ever have when you're a fucking player who people probably had, and then you talk shit about fantasy because you had a bad game. But anyway, Pittsburgh Feelers versus the Lizzo defense. Our homie. Keith Master, 118-10, 110, took that W.
Oh, I was going to say to 10. What the fuck?
No, that would have been the blowout of the week.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Feelers, let's see. Who did he have? Anybody of note in this game? Jared Goff, Detroit. Detroit's not playing this year.
I'm sorry, what was that name?
Jared Goff.
Oh, okay. All right.
You thought he said jerk off?
Jerk off, 27 points. You get 27 points for jerking off. No, Keith Master jerked off enough to take that W by 8 points. So good looks, Keith Master. You got this. Even that New England defense, man. Defenses fucking piss me off, bro. You never know what you're gonna get from a defense or a kicker. Nope. I feel like you could swap those motherfuckers out every week and be just
They're always wild
fine.
cards, yeah.
Absolutely. Last matchup, we had Milanos and Milk versus Two Affinity and Bijan. And this was a close one. I was keeping an eye on this.
Yeah.
This came down to, I want to say, the final game. Two Affinity and Bijan took the W, 102.5 to 97.2. High score, Etienne was the 34 points.
Yeah.
Allen and Diggs on Milanos and Milk, always a good combo if they have a good game. That's the thing. When you have a quarterback and a receiver from the same team, if they both shit the bed, there's two players from your team that fucked you for the most part. So it's always a gamble when you go that route. But yeah, that's the closeout of week 5. Are we actually, Johnny? You're still in first because I didn't hardly score fucking anything, and you were already leading in points. So,
but JJ's right behind me.
JJ is, yeah. Fuck. Yeah, that's the IC fantasy recap week 5, baby.
Nice. All right, y'all good for some news?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
You know what it's time for. News Clips.
Oh, the news. So much is going on. There's really... Doesn't really matter what else is going on, because I guess the biggest story that there is to talk about and all the things that are happening is the crazy ass, almost World War III level type of destruction that's happening in Israel versus Palestine / Hamas, because you're not really supposed to acknowledge that Palestine is a country or a region or a territory or whatever the hell they are. So it's Israel versus Hamas. There is a war currently happening. And man, is there controversy online over what you think the take is on this Israel versus Hamas thing. People are getting canceled left and right because they decided to voice in an opinion.
Yeah.
Some people voiced it early. Some people don't care what's happened after shit has come out. And everyone is, Israel versus Palestine has always been a controversial subject. I don't think, no one has ever come up with a good solution for what the hell is going on there. But, it's I'm going to say sad, that anything is happening. We're insensitive culture, but insensitive culture fucks with peace. So of course I would assume that y'all agree with me that peace in the Middle East is what we would prefer. But damn, there's a lot of shit going on over there, and I got my own opinions. I don't know what y'all think.
It's tough. It's tough because I see what I will call atrocities. There's not good stuff happening right now. And my thing is, and I'll be the first to admit it, I don't understand enough to be like, oh, these are the good guys. These are the bad guys. Like, this is what should happen. There's a lot of history there. Like you said, this shit has been going on since way before any of us were here. And I'm not educated enough in the specifics of what the fuck is happening and why, but I know that people are being killed, children are being killed, women raped. It's just not good at all. And it makes me very, very sad. I wish, and this is, I don't know if it's on me, if it's on the Rochester public education system, but I feel like these are not things that I was taught about Hamas and the Gaza Strip and why any of it is even popping right now. Like, I don't get it, but it makes me very, very sad to see. And I'm kind of happy that Mia Khalifa is getting canceled right now. So I got that going for me.
Yeah, I don't know enough to speak on it, honestly. I know all the videos and shit that are being shared of just craziness that's going on. And I'll be honest with you, it's like I got so much stuff going on in my life that I just haven't been paying attention, except for what just kind of pops up on my feed. And yeah, like most people should probably do, if you don't really know about it, shut the fuck up. Don't.
I think that's the biggest point you made so far.
Yeah. Like, if you don't know about it, don't post up some shit on your page saying, you know, I'm with this person or I'm with that person or anything, just because it's a fucking trend, really.
Yeah.
Maybe do some research, and even at that point, like if you feel strongly about one way or the other, sure, stand your ground and voice your opinion. But if you don't really know what the fuck is going on and you can't answer the basic fucking questions of you know, why you have the, you know, why you taking the stance that you are taking, shut the fuck up, and that's it.
That's a good takeaway. Absolutely.
That's the best
'Cause
takeaway.
I tried to research last night. Like Ash and I were talking about it, and she asked me questions that I couldn't answer, and I was like, let me follow up on those. And like I legit 100% tried to research like that conflict, and it was just so layered and so deep. There's so many nuances. There's so much there. I gave up after like 5 minutes.
Like,
I was like, I can't put this into context.
In all honesty, just what it seems to me, at least when it comes to anything on, you know, that side of the globe, it's like, unless you were affected directly or your family, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's where you take a hard stance. And I mean, I don't fall under that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't want to see anyone hurt the way that, you know, shit goes down, because I'm sure it's going down on all sides. You know what I mean? Like that's how war is, where heinous shit is going on both sides, and I just don't know enough about it. So
yeah.
You know.
I don't
for everybody
want to
involved.
be or rather, I don't want to, because yes, bad things are happening on both sides, but I also don't want to be the, you know, like the Donald Trump level of like, there's good people on both sides.
I didn't say that.
Like, that's not the comment I want to be left with, just because
sure
it gets misconstrued. Like you're trying to like level set it or whatever. Like,
no, it really comes down to, I don't know enough to
comment for sure. I get your opinion on it.
I get it. You're trying to get to yours.
No, I'm just saying, like, I understand what you're saying, because that's kind of how I want to give my opinion, right? It's like, just bad shit is happening on both sides, but I also don't want to sound like like, you know, like I'm trying to give both people credibility, or you know, make them seem like they have justification for what they've done. I mean, 100%, I'm gonna have to be against Hamas on the manner in which they went about this. Do Palestinians have a legit argument and fight to be quote unquote freedom fighters, or, you know, want to go against what some of the stuff that Israel has done, especially over the last 5 to 10 years? Yes. And I'm pretty, I would say, pro-Palestinian freedom. You know, I think the West Bank and the Gaza Strip should be dedicated to those places, and Israel should stop trying to take over those areas. However, I don't think the way that you make your point is by doing what the folks in Hamas have done over the last 48 to 72 hours, in which they've basically just acted like terrorists, right? Like, it doesn't help support your cause when you're doing all the things that Dave just enumerated, right? Like literally murdering women and children, grandparents, and tons of rape, you know, and, you know, they'll come back and they'll say there's no proof of that. And then people show proof of actual rapes happening. Like, I just seen this clip of a girl who was obviously sobbing because she received a Facebook message that said from her grandmother, "Go check out my Facebook account now. Things are crazy." And when they go to check out her Facebook account, it was that the Hamas terrorists, I'll call them terrorists, had murdered her grandmother and decided to use her phone to film it and upload it to her Facebook account. So they were like, and then they texted their family to say, "Go check out my Facebook account so you could see what's going on." And what did they show them? Her apartment like covered in blood and her murdered body. Like, this is like the next level shit where they're not supporting themselves. The amount of shit that the folks on the Hamas side have been doing, I would say is extraordinarily terrible. Now, Israel just comes back on the flip side and starts bombing the entire area. And they've said, they're going to remember this time. They're going to remember this day because we will fucking basically destroy them and without without prejudice. We're going to warn everybody ahead of time to evacuate the areas. Where the fuck are they going to go? You know what I mean? Like, you have two choices when you're in the Gaza Strip. You either go to Egypt, who doesn't want you, or you go to Israel, who doesn't want you, or you go into the sea. Like, those are your options. So not a lot of options. So when Israel's over here bombing residential buildings, they're also killing innocent women and children. Now, I get it. It's in retribution for what Hamas did. I mean, Hamas they have no leg to stand on, honestly, right here. Like, going into these and apparently 14 or 15 Americans were also murdered and killed in these in this destruction. So the Americans are not gonna fucking deal with that. I don't usually listen to what he's got to say, but Ethan Klein from the H3 podcast made a good analogy where I would say, we know the bullshit that America did in Iraq for years, right? Murdered a ton of people. We fucked them up. And it was mostly unjustified because we had no reason to go. There was bad things going on, but that was not the war we were supposed to be involved in, right?
WMDs.
All that fake WMD shit, right? But if a bunch of Iraqis came to America, snuck in and murdered 600 people in California, we would probably be a little upset about that, right? And no one would be here saying, "I stand with the Iraqis."
Right.
And so that's kind of, and that the problem with this is what, I think Dave was the one that mentioned it before, is that there's just so much history going back to 1948 when Israel was first founded, and founded, right? Like, they took, like, if you're not aware of the history, right? Palestinians were living in Israel, or what was not known as Israel at that time. There was no Israel until after World War II. And it was kind of like a consolation prize. Sorry about the Holocaust. Here's your country back that you haven't had for like 1,000 years. And they made Israel, right? And kick out all the people that are living there because all these Jews are now going to come back and live in their homeland. I mean, I kind of get it. I see that there's a problem there.
I see the good intentions there, for sure.
Right.
I get it.
Maybe
Absolutely.
didn't go about it the best way. Maybe didn't find a place for the people that were living there at the time. They just literally booted people out of their homes. And ever since then, it's just been contention back and forth, tit for tat, as they say, where everybody's fighting each other because everybody's mad about losing their homeland. Where their grandparents or great grandparents or whatever have lived and survived. And just with that, it's hard to just talk about this whole thing. we're not a part of those communities, so I don't want to, give too much. What I would say is echo Walk's sentiment. If you don't know enough about this, shut the fuck up. Why you gonna just straight? I've seen so many people post about like, now these left wing folks are showing their true colors because they're standing with Israel. Like, bro, like you gotta at least I don't want to say I stand with Israel because I know Israel has done some fucked up shit, but I stand against Hamas. That's my opinion.
Okay, I fuck with that. I stand against
terrorism. And a lot of these
Right.
people are just posting shit because it's really just a trend to post. They'll see it, won't really know what's going on, and then they'll just repost it, and then they look like dipshits in the end. So if you don't know about it, just don't. That's it, man. Thoughts and prayers to everybody out there that's being affected by all of this. And
fuck Mia Khalifa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, she
What did
got
she
dropped
do?
by Playboy.
She did get dropped by Playboy,
yeah. They canceled their channel.
So what did she
lost
do?
A whole bunch of shit. She's Palestinian, if I'm not mistaken, and she was basically, I don't want to say defending the Hamas attacks, but defending the actions or sediment behind them. And I don't know if this was when she knew the full facts, but she jumped in early.
She jumped in early, put her foot in her
statements.
mouth,
And
she
and now
said
it's
something about
biting her
like
in the
standing with the freedom fighters. You don't understand what the freedom fighters have to deal with, and they're fighting against an oppressive Israeli regime or something along those lines. Not in those words at all. Much more simpler than that. But that's basically what she said. And then people came at her. And she tried to defend it.
It's really hard to hear
backtrack.
what she has to say with a dick in her mouth, but still.
Mia's at least Palestinian, so she has a voice more so than we do.
Agreed.
For sure.
But that
It just
voice
wasn't
was
the
just
right. It wasn't the right. Yeah, it was a tone
misdirected.
deaf voice. Yeah.
very tone deaf. And then when she tried to come back and defend herself, she was like, "That's not what I meant, and I don't support the atrocities that were passed on by Hamas. However, I still stand with the freedom fighters." And it's like, no, like who are the freedom fighters here? The people killing women and children? Like, because that's pretty much the people taking hostages. Like, what are they doing? Who are the people that are doing like just regular military warfare? Because it seems like the way that Hamas planned this attack was to inflict as much damage as possible upon mostly innocent people
On a music festival. That's on the October 7th. They bombed a music festival of just people vibing, probably high as a kite, doing their thing, just living, having a good time.
No, there was this
terrorism.
German chick that they like literally paraded her like mangled body. They were parading it around. It's very tragic bullshit that I have to just take a stand and say that I'm not pro that. I'm anti Israel jumping in and closing down homes and kicking people out and taking over places that they shouldn't.
Right.
But at the same time, that doesn't give them the right to do this to innocent folks. Like wage a real war. Go after soldiers, not civilians. So, anyways.
Acts. All right. Yeah.
So moving on, hopefully that doesn't drag us into anything because, my dad's already thinking that this means the end of the world is coming based on biblical prophecies and all that stuff. But let's see what else happened in the last week. Drake dropped an album. I know Dave is super excited about Drake's new For All the Dogs being released.
I was up at 6 a.m. or whatever time it dropped. I was ready to go.
Dave is not our hip hop correspondent. Let's just go.
I'm
with
not
that
the Drake
in general.
correspondent. Don't get me wrong.
Definitely
I fuck
not the
with
Drake
hip-hop. I don't fuck with
correspondent.
Drake.
Yeah.
I mean, as somebody who does like Drake's music, I was disappointed in this album.
Sad.
I mean, Drake literally said right afterwards he was taking a break from music.
It's like, yeah, guys.
I mean, my disappointment in it is I think the assumption with his album was because it's titled For All the Dogs, and after coming out with the joint album with 21 Savage, a lot of people thought that this was going to be like that, like one for All the Dogs, where he's going to be rapping a majority of the time because he hasn't come out with an album where he's rapping, a majority of the time since if you're reading this, it's too close or whatever that shit was.
Too late.
It's too late. Yeah. If you're reading this, it's too late. And that's not what he gave. And the best thing to come from all of this is his the back and forth with him and Joe Budden. And in all honesty, like I listened to that episode of Joe Budden podcast because I am a fan of that show. And while Drake, anyway, I won't get ahead of myself. So Joe Budden, what he did was, for weeks, he's been coming out like, when is he dropping? Like, looking forward to this album. Finally drops. They all listen to it. And Joe Budden came out and said, like, during the thing, he was like, yo, I like this album. I'm a fan of the album, but I'm still disappointed because of what I just stated, right? For All the Dogs, everybody assumed that he's going to be rapping and he's going to bring his A game to just, come back strong. And when he didn't deliver that, Joe Budden then went again on his because he's a music podcast. He went in and listened to a few tracks and actually gave his critique on the specific tracks that he played. And when it came down to the J. Cole and Drake song, he was very specific on how are you going to come on a song with, you're going to have J. Cole on a song who, as of late, has been known to just murder whoever the fuck he's on a track with, right? And now you have, the shit is called, what was I forget what the track is called, something Shooters. So he comes onto this First Person Shooters, I think it was called.
Yeah,
so he gets on this track. And J. Cole absolutely just demolishes him, and it seems like Drake had zero effort, and he was pretty much pointing that out. Like, yo, how are you going to come on this song with an absolute fucking murderer, a killer, and just come out like he's your fucking friend? And he was telling the truth, and he was very candid about it. He did, and even afterward, he was just like, man, I still fuck with it. This is still my shit. But man, how are you going to talk about this and talk about, like, he names some girls like by name and shit? It's like, yo, how are you fucking saying all of this shit with J. Cole on the fucking song? So he was just very candid, very open about his critique on this album. And I don't know, people were saying that Drake afterward, there was a clip that was released and Drake fucking wrote a long ass fucking paragraph talking about how, you have to understand how this, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, because I'm not going to fucking look up the whole shit and read it for y'all. But if the audience wants to go look that up, it's very easy to find it. But pretty much saying you have to understand that, this is a has-been rapper that
I'll read it
gave
for you
up.
so you get some context here. He said, because he went super hard on this, which I thought was kind of crazy.
He went super hard, but I'll let you go ahead.
He said, Joe Budden, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip because this is what actually pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you're watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter give their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switched careers because the things that pop into your head, into your brain, had you broke living check to check, and the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty Anichi jeans to screw up their face to Mood Music 29 and pretend you're the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. You retired and we never hung up your jersey, and we don't even remember your number. We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap, not because you accomplished all you needed to. It's because it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in the generations to think that the whole everybody's entitled to their opinion is a real thing. This is a man projecting his own self-hate and the fact I did and continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. If you need to put it in simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in the 973 and flies first class on special occasions.
So if you ask me,
they both right, but
if you ask me, yes, they're both right. But if you ask me, Joe Budden struck a nerve with him to make him do that in a fucking comment section.
Yeah. And
because
he posted that. He typed that out in notes, son. He went in his notes. He put that shit and copy and pasted that bitch because that was
exactly. So that, in my opinion, that showed that shit struck a nerve for Drake. And Drake, in my opinion, that even though all of that shit is factual, whatever, he made a lot of sense in that. That was a fucking L for Drake. Like, why would you if this was from a rapper that gave up and all the shit that you just laid out, why are you paying it any fucking mind? Why are you responding? This is being a fucking rapper who said, like, I don't respond to these people. I mean, everybody has a fucking.
No, I'm talking about
not a Drake audience, dog.
No, not a Joe Budden audience.
No, not a Joe
Budden.
Budden.
We got an audience.
What he did,
but not as many people listen to our show as listen to Joe Budden.
For sure. What I'm saying is, what he did, he actually brought Joe Budden up with that fucking comment, because everybody jumps on Joe Budden shit all the time, saying, "Oh, you don't like." They say the same shit all the time. You were a whack ass rapper. All you have is pump it up because Logic fucking pulled that shit out. But actually, Logic is trash, so I don't give a fuck about what he has to say at all. And Joe Budden actually, because I was one of those people that used to say that shit. I had a friend who was a big Joe Budden fan, and I was like, "What, the pump it up, dude?" And he actually does have a lot of bars, and he, whatever it is. But yes, he has a large audience. And the fact that Drake responded to that, honestly, it's going to make Joe Budden way more money now, because he is on the forefront of all of hip hop news right now because of his going back.
I don't know about more money.
It's getting him notoriety, and he's getting notoriety in podcasting. It doesn't matter if the spotlight is on you in any capacity. I just saw that after he posted that, Joe Budden then posted the fact that now he's number 8 in all categories of podcasting. That episode or whatever his show is now number 8 overall. Like. So a lot of people tuned into that episode to know why the fuck Drake was so fucking pressed. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. I think it was a soft move on Drake to put that shit out there like that. In a fucking comment section. It was super weak that his father posted on the shit saying, you know, like, you know,
Some
trying to
dad
defend
was
his
just
son.
defending his son.
Yeah.
I
That
did,
shit
I
was
did
all.
read that comment.
It's so fucking stupid. But honestly, personally, tomorrow the new episode of Joe Budden drops, and I hope that it does go even further because I'm here for all that shit.
And that episode might hit, but this isn't something that's gonna last for Joe Budden at all. He definitely put him
he
on,
has the
like,
number
boosted
one.
him.
He has the number one hip hop podcast, so it doesn't matter what anybody says about him, his character. And I've listened to all of the ones, the $1 million worth of game. I've listened to Drink Champs. I've listened to all of them, and honestly, Joe Budden just has the better show because he actually gives a fuck about the content. He gives a fuck who's on his show, what they put out there, and all of that shit. And the shit is fucking super entertaining. So I mean, I don't know.
Wait.
I feel like it doesn't take a lot to do a hip hop podcast. It's just that most of the people I think
listen
suck.
to it and then give me your critique.
I think most of the people just suck in the hip hop podcast game. They're not good radio folks.
It doesn't
and Joe Budden's
translate.
He's just a good radio guy. He's got a good radio voice. He's a smart dude. He's not an idiot. And so he has good opinions on a lot of things. So it's way easy for him. And he already has some sort of level of fame to draw more people in.
Oh, for sure.
He's not starting from scratch. That has
to do a lot with all of those people that he's going against.
But for him to win in the hip hop category, I don't think is the biggest achievement. Now he's also one of the top. He usually goes up and down between 1 and 5 across all of Spotify, and I think that's a bigger achievement than just beating Drink Champs out. Because I mean, let's be honest, Drink Champs is just a bunch of dudes sitting around getting drunk that just happen to be famous. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I don't like any.
Not exactly an awesome show. But the things that both of them said, I feel are valid,
they're both right.
Yeah,
they're both right.
Everything that Drake said is true about Joe Budden. Did he need to put that in the comment section? Not my way of responding to things, but I'm also, I typically don't respond to a lot of things. I'm that's not my generation to jump on social media and put my shit out there like that and try to just do that kind of back and forth. And Joe Budden's response wasn't even that great. Like, he did respond, which is cool, but it was just kind of like, one day you'll get old like me and you'll realize that
and that was
comes for us all, or some bullshit like that.
That was really just like
a whack ass fucking comeback.
It was a whack ass comeback, but I mean, again, I'm a listener of the show, so I understand his standpoint, like what he tries to do, and what his response was pretty much just like, I'm not gonna stoop to your level. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Because really,
but at that point,
I think
the comment, respond.
Yeah, the I think the comment that struck the nerve with Drake is he told him he straight up said at one point, he was like, "Yo," he's like, "You're with all these younger dudes. Like, nobody gives a fuck about you hanging out with Kai Cenat, like a YouTuber, and nobody gives a fuck about like all of these you just hanging out with all of these younger people." And it's like, yo, just like, why don't you hang out with more people your age? And which is stupid because it's, I mean, people are going to do what. Exactly, yeah.
I think Joe Budden's off the mark there. Because what do you mean? Just because Kai Cenat don't fuck with you, you can't hang with Kai Cenat, but Kai Cenat is motherfucking number one person on Twitch and Kick right now. Like, why would you not want to be circled around his audience to influence his folks more? Like, there's way more people listening to Kai Cenat than listening to Joe Budden. So of course I want to hang with them.
But that's my point. Is like, well, first of all, they're not the same. They're not the same. In my opinion, they're not. That's not the same. We have a YouTuber talking about and a podcaster. Even though a podcast can live,
they're both on both platforms. Kai Cenat podcasts and Joe Budden's on YouTube.
You can't listen to Kaisen on like the audio and it actually land the same way because he watches all kind of videos and shit. Makes more sense. Anyway, that's more of the shit that we're talking about. But anyway, yes, the standpoint where Joe Budden comes from is he's embraced being older, and he says that shit all the time. And he talks like an older dude, right? And he comes from an older dude perspective, and everything is about growth. So it makes sense that his take is, yo, stop chilling with these younger people and fucking act like somebody your own age, because you're fucking 37 years old still trying to keep up with these younger dudes, and it's just not it's not working anymore. But I also understand for Drake.
But is it not working for Drake? Though, how is it not? But it is working for him.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is that's from his perspective. Is what I'm saying.
I understand Joe Budden having an opinion on the music and the quality and what was given to us. Sure. Absolutely understand the.
But isn't that what he gave? Is his opinion
based off
on
of the name of the album, the drawing, and on the album cover art, and what we've gotten over the last 3 albums?
Oh, Drake has horrible.
There was a lot of What?
Drake has horrible fucking album covers.
I fuck with most of Drake's album covers. I think they're
garbage.
I think they're interesting. I don't think I can't remember one in. Like maybe the last 2 I may not be familiar with, but I appreciate them. And this one, I mean, I can't shit on it. It was literally his son drew it. His shit is It's cool. Like it's fine. It's whatever.
Did he? Or is that just what he told us?
Huh?
I said, did his son actually draw it, or is that what he told us?
I mean, I'm going to take him at his word. I have no reason not to believe it. It looks like a child's drawing.
Who the fuck knows? Anyway, so that was the most interesting shit that came from it, is their little tit for tat. I honestly, tomorrow is when his episode drops after all of this shit. So he may have some shit to add to all of this, and he may not. He may just be like, I saw all that shit, man. Fuck it. I'm not even gonna entertain it, and then move the fuck on.
That's what a real old head would do.
Right.
Brush it off. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. But Joe Budden is also known for, if it really did strike a nerve that he got so upset about it that he wrote all of that shit, he may have just like a few words, and then he'll move the fuck on.
You gotta respond, right? If you're Budden, you gotta respond to that or not?
I mean, that's the thing with Joe Budden, right? Like, people, like, there are smaller people who have said shit to him, and he'll address them, in a quick 20 to 30 minute, like, rant with the crew, and then move the fuck on, and then that's it. He'll speak his piece, and then he doesn't want to, and then that's it. So I'm hoping that he does fucking do it, because I want to hear what the fuck he has to say about it.
Honestly.
Yeah. I want to hear what he has to say about it. But it wouldn't surprise me if he just be like, you know what? I'm not even going to fucking acknowledge that bullshit. He's obviously acting off of emotion.
My bet is he milks it. I say
he told him though.
He goes.
He said it in the episode. He said he's going to take a couple years off. Good. I think he needs it. He's like, take those couple years off, go get right, and whatever. Like, please, we don't need any more Drake right now.
We're good, please.
We're good.
I beg you.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's dope. I agree.
And I'm with it. I mean, you would have been happy if he took a break 10 years ago.
To defend Drake for a second, and it's not something I would ever do. It sounds like a lot of the hate is based off of the hype that people were expecting based on the title of the album, which I don't think is fair. It could have fucking mean anything, bro. You could name it something and you could have a totally different vision. Sounds like the hate is going, it's not all about the dogs. What the fuck does that even mean?
Well, really, what it came down to...
That's on you for putting that on those expectations. Like, he put out music, he did his thing. What the fuck do you want from this dude?
But that's what I'm saying is like I think it was a buildup of the letdown that was Certified Lover Boy, that album, which I don't know what they were expecting from that, because that was the album that I expected for it to be straight up all singing, right? And then there was another album that he announced, and then that shit ended up being a fucking dance album out of nowhere, right? So then that was another letdown for a lot of fans, even though, you know, some people ended up enjoying it to some capacity, right? Then we got the shit with 21 Savage, which was good. Like people,
honestly, I forgot about that 21 Savage album.
Yeah, and that one was actually good because he was rapping, and he was rapping back and forth with 21 Savage, and it was actually
Her Loss. Was that one?
Yes, Her Loss. Yep.
Yeah, definitely did not remember that was a thing.
Yeah. So and then after the two prior to Her Loss, we wanted all Drake. Like people wanted all Drake. And then he drops this, where
honestly,
again,
never mind. That was the one that people thought were gonna be.
Yeah, and it was a dance album.
And that was the dance album. Yeah.
Yep. And then and then he drops this one for all the dogs, and they were like, "Oh shit! Like this is gonna be the one," and it just wasn't what and a lot of people were saying.
I mean, I agree with Dave on that.
And it was just very lazy.
Why are you building your own expectations for what somebody else is trying to do?
I mean,
and then hating because it didn't meet your expectations.
Yeah.
Have you lived in the same world that I live in? That's pretty much where everyone lives.
Yeah. And that's why we have this podcast.
Marvel fans,
to shit on people
Star Wars,
build up expectations over shit
Absolutely.
that is not under their own control.
Mm-hmm.
We all build up shit in our heads for what we want. We are just people that are just like, when it's not what we want, I'm just not gonna fucking sit there and riot and fucking talk shit about, you know, and be fucking like, let it ruin my fucking life. And I'm just sitting here sulking and talking shit for days on days as to why this is such bullshit. No, it's like, oh, that's not what I fucking wanted. Yeah, that shit is trash. I'm not watching it, or I'm not listening to it again.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Move the fuck on. Yep.
But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow for that, and we'll see how that goes. But we wanted to talk a little bit about some wild shit that fucking happened, and I really want us to discuss this.
Yeah.
So
What was this? Do we know?
Yeah. We should. Here, I'm gonna share the video.
We should.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So a bus driver is driving, her normal route. See how right there,
Yep.
this little girl's book bag gets stuck, and the bus driver drives, bro. How long is this?
Too fucking long.
Too long.
Too fucking
Too
long.
fucking long.
It was brutal to watch.
Where this little girl, for those of you who are listening, this little girl is, the bus driver closed the door on this little girl without even looking, making sure that she got off the bus safely. The door is pinched her book bag.
You can
and this
drop
entire
the
time
volume.
that I'm
It doesn't
talking
add
about,
anything.
What are you doing, Devin? Sit down, Devin.
the entire time that I'm talking here, she's being dragged. And
Yeah. And they're going fast, bro. I'm watching that shit pass outside the bus.
she even turns a
and it
fucking
is
corner
fast.
at some point.
Oh, my God.
Other cars
honking.
are fucking honking.
Oh my God.
Bro,
That's
that's
the
my
part that
problem.
she
Is
noticed.
like, you see right there? Like,
It was about
so we were having this discussion.
55 seconds of driving at 30 miles an hour plus.
So we were having this discussion, and we were saying, like, what was it that you were saying, Johnny, that you don't feel like she should?
What I was responding to is the story about this is that then, this happened a while ago. I think this was in 2019 or something like that, and they've been
Wow, okay.
they sued the lady and they did get awarded, I think, $3 or $5 million or something like that. And my take was just kind of like, yeah, this is wrong. Yeah, people were negligent. But if I wanted to get something from this, I would go after the insurance company or the school bus company.
The district.
For negligence, for poor training, for things like that. I just feel bad about going after a bus driver who I know, a school bus driver. I mean, these people are not like wealthy, so this person's going to be, have her wages garnished for the rest of her life. You're never going to get the $5 million. So you're kind of doing it for a point to like punish someone. And yes, she should be reprimanded for her mistake, but it's not like, I don't think she didn't do it willfully. It wasn't like, I wouldn't call it gross negligence. I would call it negligence. Right. And that's where my kind of point was it from. Like, I feel like the family is due something. I just feel bad that in order to get what they got, they had to go after this, older lady that probably doesn't have to give it up and made a mistake. She made a mistake. She seemed like she was upset about it.
Bad fucking mistake right there.
It's a tragic mistake.
Should she lose her job?
What the fuck? A lot.
What the fuck was she looking at? Like literally closes the door right there.
The road, dog. She was driving.
Yeah, the road. I can't tell because she's got sunglasses on, but I'm gonna imagine she's looking at the 45 other kids in the bus that are acting up.
You hear
plus
that sound too, that yelling and the bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it. I understand.
You're justifying what she fucking did, but
I'm not trying to justify it. I'm not trying to give her an excuse.
It seems like it.
No,
it seems like
I'm saying she doesn't deserve to pay $5 million for dragging your kid down the road.
But she is not. She is not
for a minute. Like, does she deserve to get reprimanded? Does she deserve to probably be suspended from her job?
Lose her job. I think she should lose her job.
I don't even want to say she deserves to lose her job.
I think she deserves to lose her job.
If you're not watching kids getting off the bus safely and you're a bus driver, that's your main job.
She paid no fucking mind to this child. I don't give a fuck what kind of shade she has on, and we don't know where her eyes are nowhere near this child. And right there, she's
Mr.
the
fucking
one who
asshole in the middle.
She's the one who fucking closed the gate.
more than her.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's literally why he's there, because she's busy.
I assume that's an adult, right?
I blame them both.
They're a really fat kid.
But her arm right there is the one that closed it on this child. She didn't even make sure
look.
that this
didn't
fucking
even glance
kid
in the
got
direction.
off the fucking bus.
Yes. I'm not trying to excuse her and say,
she should lose her job.
We all make mistakes, guys.
No big deal.
I'm not
she
trying
should
to
lose
say
her
that.
job for sure.
So that's not the defense that I'm bringing up.
She shouldn't have to pay for it for the rest of her life.
Yeah, for the rest of her life.
But she should absolutely lose her job.
Obviously, she lost her job. More than she more than likely lost her job. How the fuck do you expect this woman to? You're trying to get blood from a freaking rock. Like it's
Go be
silly.
a lunch lady. She looks like she's built like a lunch lady. She's got it in her DNA.
Lunch lady. And you know what? Maybe she was.
She could handle
Maybe
that.
she does lunch lady and school busing. And she made a fucking mistake.
Choke to death on their lunch.
She should be reprimanded. And if that was my child, I would be livid. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like I said, I would go after the school bus company and the insurance company because I know I'll actually get something from that.
I would have asked for her to be fired for sure, though.
Like for future folks to never do the same thing, because the school bus company will then implement more rigorous training or
some sort of
or whatever they need to do.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah, but to go after her personally. I just feel like there's just sometimes
for
where
$5 million,
I don't know that the personal lawsuit is worth it.
All right, was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so let's get into a little bit of Hollywood. All right, I'll bring up a few little tidbits here that I have. So It's finally been confirmed. This is the biggest thing that has come up within the last couple of days. Yeah. It has finally been confirmed that none of the Justice League stars from the DCEU will reprise their roles in James Gunn's DCU universe. Which, for me, I'm extremely happy about that. Thank God. The shit is, yes.
Gal Gadot punch in the air right now talking about, what were we talking about in that conversation that I'm about to come back as Wonder Woman?
Well, I think all of this really came from, one, all of the shit going on with Ezra Miller, even though, did the Flash bomb?
Yes.
I don't think it did, right?
Was it a bad movie? No. It did bomb,
but the Flash
did
bomb
its budget, I think, back, but it just barely made it budget. I think it was $230 million is what the Flash ended up grossing globally.
So
it should have made a lot more.
For sure.
Yeah, so with that, the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case that went on caused some rifts in the Aquaman 2 behind the scenes, where apparently Jason Momoa was just like drunk on set often, and he would often
that was the
pretend
allegation.
he was.
Yeah,
that is the allegation.
Allegedly,
from Amber
allegedly.
Heard.
The bed
and
shitter.
Not even really an allegation. That's so because I read that whole article, and apparently that is what she told her therapist, and her therapist's notes were made public when the Amber Heard trial ended up finishing. The Depp versus Amber Heard trial ended up finishing. They made a bunch of the records public.
Has Mamoa spoken on this at all?
Who?
About the
Momoa? I don't think so.
Jason Momoa?
The studio has come out and defended him and said Jason Momoa was always
professional
on
blah, blah,
set.
blah. Yeah.
He did enjoy the occasional beer, but he was never drunk to the point of not being useful or whatever.
I mean,
she also
who knows?
She was claiming that he not only was drunk on set, but that he was dressed like Johnny Depp. And the studio's like,
a lot of bracelets.
Momoa always dresses like that. Like he always dresses that bohemian style with lots of rings and bracelets and stuff like that. And so I kind of agree with that. Like that, that's not really out of character for him. I don't think he was trying to troll you.
I mean, he was
just feeling some kind of way.
It was a while ago. He was pretty outspoken with saying how he was disgusted by the whole thing and how he was not a fan of having to, have her back.
He did try to get her removed from the movie.
On the team. He definitely did. And from my understanding, it's the rumor is that her scenes were cut. And all of this stuff. So
2 major scenes cut from the movie.
Yep.
So a fight scene and a love scene cut from the movie.
So I'm pretty sure I only brought all of that up pretty much just to say that I'm pretty sure that the fucking all of that is what led to James Gunn just saying, you know what, we're just gonna fucking just axe all of that shit and let's move forward, which is what we've all been saying from the fucking beginning.
He should have dumped Aquaman 2 and Blue Beetle too.
was Blue Beetle that
I haven't
bad?
seen it yet, but I'm it's all remnant stuff. It's all stuff that happened before he was around. I can see Blue Beetle because it actually had nothing to do with the previous DCU. It was a plan. But I don't know that it has nothing to do with it. Like I'm sure they mentioned those characters in the movie, and
it was the introduction to a character. And I think I want to watch it. I've been trying to get my kid to watch it, so I have an excuse to watch it. But he hasn't been trying.
He wants no part of it.
I keep hearing it's actually I keep hearing it's a decent movie. It's pretty good. It probably should have been shelved, but if you ask me, from all of the stills and trailers and things that I've seen between that, I'm happy that they chose Batgirl like that. Yeah, that shit. I'm happy that shit.
Yeah,
fucking
like of all the ones, if they only shelved one, that was the one to shelve.
Yeah, that was the one to shelf, and that was a good decision. They definitely should have shelved Aquaman 2 because the first one was absolute trash, and
but it made $1.2 billion.
Yeah, so they had to come out with another one, which, by the way, the trailer looks even dumber.
Yeah.
Aquaman has a child, and whatever. This shit looks
my
fucking
guy's fucking with
stupid
the
as fuck.
Fast and the Furious movies every motherfucking time they come out.
Who are you talking about?
You are.
Me. I have?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Why are you sitting here spitting lies, bro? Fuck you.
I deserve that. No, fuck me.
My guy over here just spitting fucking straight up lies.
He fucks with them. On the low, that's his shit.
Nah, son. Fuck out of here. I haven't seen one since 6, maybe?
So he watched all the way up to 6. He's a fan, son.
I did, son.
Ain't nobody watched all 6 of them shits.
I bet you if we start to go down the line, you'd be like, oh wait, I did see all those.
No, I think
10,
I watched
10
up
was
to
the
6
latest.
too.
I think I'm pretty sure I've watched every single one of them at some point.
I just
I get around to that.
One was dope.
I haven't seen the most recent one, but yeah.
2 was Then they did Tokyo Drift. I remember watching that and thinking like, this is actually pretty good. And then they brought the cast back, so I had to watch that. And then it was the fucking Rio heist. Yeah. Then it was the Rio heist. I was like, oh shit. And then whatever one Paul Walker died, I watched off the strength of the fact that he died, and then fell off.
Yeah, that's right. Shit. I think after Paul Walker was gone, I was like, yeah, I'm checking out. I'm
exactly. That's when I checked out. I was like, I had to watch it because he passed away, and
show him some love just for Paul. Yeah.
I haven't watched one in theater since the first one. After that, it doesn't really matter if I've watched it because I had contributed nothing to the box office numbers.
That's
right.
True.
No, fuck all that shit. I have no desire to watch all of the. Oh yeah. I mean, and I did watch the Hobbs and Shaw. And that shit was super.
Well, that's because you're a rock fan.
Yeah. And that shit was trash. But
either way.
But either way, no Justice League characters are coming back. Of course, and this is no surprise to anybody, but we can act surprised if we really want to. But the rumor is that Jason Momoa is going to be recast as Lobo for the Superman Legacy film.
I'm not a fan of that.
That has been a fan casting, and it was a rumor very early on, because James Gunn likes to work with people that he fucks with. So one, yes. I don't mind.
Does he look like Lobo, and is that a good fan cast? Yes. But I hate when you use the same actor to do 2 completely different roles, and like that shit universe. Seems like it's gonna be confusing. Like, wait a minute, isn't that Aquaman? Like, what the fuck is Aquaman doing in Superman acting like a wolf? Why has he got green hair now? Yeah. I'm so fucking confused. Not for me, because
for your
I do a fucking podcast talking about this shit.
I get
Sure.
But for the general audience, I think that will be
our
fucking
moms,
confusing.
Our spouses,
and it's just it seems like, why? Like, is he really the only fucking actor in all of Hollywood that has long hair and has muscles? Like, that's like the requirements to be Lobo. Like, long hair and muscles must be.
But he's
Jason Momoa.
He's a
I'm
draw
sure
still.
someone else could fit that bar.
He's still a draw. He's still, the fact that it's Jason Momoa, more people are likely to show up for it. And
I guess we'll see after
he's different
Aquaman
enough.
2 if people show up for Jason Momoa.
And he's different enough to where if he comes out like how he looks in the comics, like where he has like the makeup and shit.
The other thing too from that article that I thought was interesting, Peacemaker still sticking around, all same cast, all those people from the Snyderverse. Yeah,
nice.
They can stick around. They'll still be in DCU. Waller, Viola Davis playing Waller. Yeah, she still sticks around too. Somehow she doesn't need to be recast. It's like all these other people cease to exist, and the Snyderverse somehow is not really part of the Gunverse, but somehow these people are making it across these universes. So those were two things that I thought were interesting, not enough that it really caught my attention, but interesting enough. And then I think the most thing that I saw from this, or that I pulled from this article, was apparently the opinion of a lot of Hollywood folks, is that this whole David Zaslav Discovery ownership of Warner Brothers is only going to last about 2 years anyways, and most people are expecting Universal to come in and buy Warner Brothers, and maybe everything fucking changes again in the next 2 years.
So Gunn's gone, his universe is gone, and
possibly
shit.
Or maybe Universal buys it and says, hey, Gunn, we really like what you're doing. Because what also was noted in this article is that unlike Kevin Feige, which is what we thought when James Gunn was given control of DCU, unlike Kevin Feige, who has full control over the Marvel Cinematic Universe, apparently Max, HBO Max, whatever you want to call it, the Max people are also heavily involved in DCU stuff with James Gunn. He does not, him and Safran do not have full autonomy over DCU and Warner Brothers.
I did not know that. That is news to me right now.
I read that in the article and I was like, well, what the fuck are we hyped about?
Yeah.
Because if
What the
Max
fuck
can
are we
come
hyped
off and
about?
fuck shit up.
He was the Feige. That's
He
what
was
that was
supposed
supposed
to
to
be
be.
the Feige. Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, I'm still.
And he's still I'm
in
going to
Gunn
say
we
he's
trust.
still driving.
We're still trusting.
He's still driving the story. He's still driving.
But at the end of the day,
final decisions, they're always gonna have opinions. They're gonna have they're gonna be viewing the previews,
And these are
the
just
early
old assholes
releases. They're
in
gonna be
suits,
driving,
right?
recuts and reshoots. Max somehow is involved as a producer over all of this stuff, and that's alarming.
I get checks and balances, but Feige and Gunn should not be checked.
No.
They should be able to run unchecked.
The people at fucking Disney Plus have no control over what gets released.
What Filoni does?
What Filoni's doing, or what freaking they're doing on Loki or any of the films. You know what I mean? Like, Disney Plus is not involved in that. Not even Disney is involved in that. Maybe Bob Iger at the high end.
Even that,
But even
doubt
then,
that's
I
even
think
on
he's
his
maybe
radar.
just like, what do you got? Okay, yes,
Yeah.
thumbs up. I feel like he's more of a thumbs up, thumbs down versus like heavily
Sounds
involved
good.
in storyline and, what we're
Or just they CC
releasing
Iger
next.
on their emails, and then he's like, if he responds, okay. If not, it's a green light. Go do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of news to me, and that it gives me a
That
little
is
bit of
interesting.
pause of what's
I'm
happening over at
definitely-
Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
Yep.
that sucks.
That does suck. I'm kind of butthurt.
I have nothing really important here other than Marvel has revealed that Michael Gandolfini is going to be playing the role of Daniel Blade. Not familiar with that character in Daredevil Born Again. Yeah.
I like Michael
James Gandolfini's son, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
From
He played
he
him in
played
that.
his dad great
Many
in that.
Saints of Newark.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm down for giving him more opportunities.
Yeah, no, give that fucking kid all the opportunity. He's
talented.
He's a good actor. Yeah,
Is it Nepo? Is he the Nepo baby?
A little bit, absolutely. I'd say without a doubt that Gandolfini name has taken him everywhere that he is currently. But he's still backed it up. He has chops. It's not like it's, what the fuck is this kid doing here? What?
I agree.
I haven't. I'm gonna have to.
Something recently on Netflix that the Dope Sick. How Dope Sick was on
Dope Sick,
Hulu,
yeah.
and then there was the Netflix one.
Yep.
Duchovny's daughter was like the main sales rep in that show, and she was trash. She was bad. Like I questioned her acting ability.
Yeah, that show. In all honesty,
No, I fucked with it. I thought it was
episodes.
legit. She was a sore spot on that show. She could not act. And then when I looked up the IMDb and I saw Duchovny, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
So I saw a few episodes and I couldn't get into it, probably because I saw Dope Sick.
Yeah.
And Dope Sick.
It's the same story. I mean, just, different characters told a little bit differently.
Yeah, for sure. But I think the production and the casting was much better on Dope Sick.
I got to peep Dope. I mean,
and
yeah,
the story,
Michael Keaton,
the story
bro,
arc.
come on. Michael Keaton beats Matthew Broderick
and
every
the
day
story,
of the week.
the story
That's not
that they
even
went
close.
with was better. You just align yourself with the people a little bit easier or better. But anyway. Still highly recommend, even if you saw that other one, to watch Dope Sick, because that shit is fucking great.
I gotta watch it. I gotta peep it.
Yeah. Rosario Dawson, fucking
Rosario.
Michael
Shit,
Keaton.
loves me some Rosario.
Yeah. Who was the other kid? He from Guardians, the one that was the latest edition of Guardians.
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's in Dope Sick.
Yep.
A lot of good people in that. Anyway, I figured we can probably talk a little bit about our thoughts on the first episode of Loki. It doesn't necessarily have to be a spoiler alert. It can be a spoiler alert. But I just thought we could touch on just quick thoughts of the first episode, how you feeling about it, like where, just your thoughts on it.
No, we don't even have to spoil it. It doesn't have to be a spoiler alert. We'll let some folks catch up
because we don't have to get into.
But it went hard, bro.
On
they hit the ground running in that first
Oh
episode.
my God,
man.
absolutely.
Like, just that was such a great episode, and it was it was everything I was hoping for that it would be. It was just I don't know that dude's name that worked down, the little Asian dude. I can't think of his his name, but that character, man, was just killer. And I don't know if he's up to some nefarious shit or long duck dong.
Him. Yeah.
It's not long duck dong. That was a different Asian dude.
And I got to bring it up.
Yeah, he was so great, that character, man. I fucked with that
he was
dude.
great.
The whole thing,
I think, is so far fulfilling expectations.
Yep.
Came in hard, like you said, top to bottom. I was, I watched it at like 12:30 at night, almost ready to fall asleep, and I did not.
And you were wide fucking awake.
I was wide fucking awake for it. It was popping the entire time. Picked up right where the other one left off.
Yeah,
and
love that.
And followed. I watched the new Rockstar's breakdown of it, which was a long one. That's how you
40
know
minutes.
It's really
It was
good.
40 minutes. Yeah,
that's how you know it's a good episode.
It was longer than almost as long as the episode.
It's almost as long as the whole episode itself. Yeah.
I thought the same exact fucking thing.
That shit was so good.
Without spoiling anything, just say that it is great. It asks more questions. It's still gonna be, there's gonna be confusing parts. There's things that you got to kind of fall back and wait. How did that happen? How did this work? But overall, got me super excited to watch the next episode, and also sad that it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, and the best part about it is it did all that in the first episode, and it didn't even get to any of like we haven't seen Kang yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it didn't even get to
we saw
like, the
him,
surprises.
but we didn't see him.
Sure. I'm just
And I
saying
don't know
like
that
it
we
didn't
will.
even get
Honestly,
to the
I expect maybe we'll see him in the last episode if we see him at all.
He's supposed to be in like 5 episodes, I thought, or something like
Yeah.
just 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, really?
He's supposed to be in. Yeah, like so.
Oh, okay.
We already seen one without him, right? He wasn't in.
But that's my point is we haven't even seen him yet,
Right.
and it's already just like
So it's
started at anxiety level 10.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I was just like, holy shit. Like I feel like super anxious right now watching this episode as, you know, all of this shit is just going down and they're just trying to piece everything together as to what's going on. And he's trying to explain. It was just such a good episode.
Yep.
Also, the return
Can't
of the
wait to-
post-credit
can't
scene.
wait for it.
So if you haven't
Yes.
seen it yet, don't tune out before post-credit scene. There will be
have to
one,
check.
at least in the first episode. I don't know if there's going to be one in every episode, but at least the first episode has a post-credit scene.
Look out for him.
So stick
yeah.
around for that.
Look out for
yeah.
him.
Yeah. Now I'll be on the lookout.
You guys fucking with anything? No?
I don't think so.
I'm
still
still I'm still going with the morning show. Like we
Yeah,
caught
and
up
I'm-
to where it's current, so now we're week to week like a bunch of schlubs, just
Yep.
waiting for them.
That's how I
episodes to
am with
drop.
Gen V right now.
Gen V, yeah,
Caught
fucking with
up.
Gen V as well. Hard.
Caught up and waiting for the next episode, and I'm still working my way through Sopranos.
Yeah, my
I'm in
man.
the middle of season 3, so
Once you finish it, I'll start Snowfall.
I'm
not gonna hold my breath on that, but still.
I promise. That's a promise.
I will say, for the benefit of our audience, not necessarily fucking with any show. I'm still trying to get through and finish Foundation, but what I'm fucking with, which I don't think I've mentioned on this show yet, is a new app, not Call Sheet, because I've talked about that one before. This one is called Television Time. And it shows us TV time on my screen, but Television Time allows me to track my shows that I watch in real time too. So it's not like we've talked about what's the not Discovery D. It's
Pause. Trying to discover that D. Fuck is wrong with you?
that's an Apple thing. What the fuck is it called? Film D? No, what the fuck is that app that we've used that we're all on?
You're trying to film D?
No,
What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
the one that we track our movies on, or that we were supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh, Letterboxd?
Letterbox D, yes. So yeah, not like Letterbox D.
Is that how it's supposed to be pronounced? Letterboxd D? I always thought it was letterboxed.
I
I
thought it
always
was
say Letterbox
Letterboxd,
D
like, they
because
just
that's
took
how
the
I
E out.
refer to all the. There's a bunch of like Apple.
Just really likes announcing that D.
Because there's a bunch of like shit on Apple operating system that ends with the letter D for Damon or Demon, however you want to respond to it, and so you just say the the process D. So anyways, letterboxed or Letterbox D. That's how I say it. That app is mostly for movies, and it's kind of like long term. Like I log it, and I write a review if I want or anything. TV Time is mostly for saying I'm watching these shows right now. How many episodes are left? When are they coming back? And a listener of the show is the one that put me onto it, so that's how I found out about it, and I downloaded it. I don't think that there's anything that I pay for it. To keep this track, if at anything, if there is a cost, it might be like 99 cents or something like that. But outside of that, It's a pretty dope app if you want to keep track of the shows that you're watching and know when they're coming up, because like I can tell right now, I'm watching Foundation and I'm 8 episodes behind the ending. I want to watch Billions. I've got 81 episodes to watch, so I don't know if I'll get to it. The Continental, there's only 3 episodes and I haven't started yet. But also, Echo is coming in 91 days. And the next episode of Loki is coming out tomorrow. So it's a good way for me to be able to track the shows that I'm watching and see when they're coming next. So television time, highly recommend it. Check it out.
Yeah,
all right,
as long as I don't run into a paywall, I'll fuck with it. The 99 cents is cool. I'll drop that. But if it's more than that, I don't know about that.
Nope, I'm not feeling it.
Gotta spend that 99 cents on
guac,
French fries, or guac or something.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
Avocados aren't cheap, dog. Neither is OnlyFans. It's facts.
Fair.
No, you're fair. All right, yeah. If there's nothing else, please check that out. Then you know what that means.
Stellar conversation.
Guys, thank you for listening to this stellar conversation. We hit everything in the beginning. If you missed that, too fucking bad. Rewind it. We'll catch you next week. We love you. Thank you. Peace.
Peace.